Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Maul or Nothing, as always, with Ryan and Max. We continue to move up in the world. We started in the depths of Vauxhall in a shipping container, then headed across to the rather plush surroundings of the Bristol Bears studio at Ashton Gate, and now we have bloody made it. We are in arguably the greatest, loveliest, poshest hotel in London, in the Mandarin Oriental. Huge thank you to them, just opposite Hyde Park and Knightsbridge, and they are hosting us this week, and they are being bloody lovely, and I think we've really made it now, lads.
I think we have made it, but even more so with the guests we've got on. Mark, introduce them.
Here to dissect what promises to be an absolutely fabulous weekend of sporting entertainment. What's clearly, you can see, a bit of a Scottish reach-around show with former Scottish internationals Shaw Maitland and Thom Evans.
Oh my God, did he just say former?
You've retired me from international.
That's what they did to me. That's what they did to me. They did that to me. That's why I don't play anymore. Not even, it wasn't my shenanigans in 2019. You were in the World Cup warm-up squad, weren't you?
I was in the Six Nations holding the pads. It's good. 140 quid, 6 weeks worth. Lovely.
Nah, he's not. He's not retired. I reckon this bloke's still got it in him. He's still at Sarries, 34, 35?
35, yeah.
Still going, brother.
Still getting silverware.
I think Thom might be retired, so you can put that bit in.
I was correct about you. I mean, lots of amazing, glamorous things going on in your life. Congratulations for your engagement back in June, and you're here now in London. Your fiancée, Nicole Scherzinger, currently playing Norma Desmond in Sunset Boulevard. How about you? What's on your plate at the moment?
I'm living with Norma Desmond, as you said. It's an experience. You know, she's invested a lot of time into this production, as have the rest of the cast, and it's truly unbelievable. I was there, luckily, to see the opening, and it's just, I think it's going to be massive on the West End, and she kind of carries the show. So it was a lot of pride when I watched the performance, and quite a lot of emotions as well, which I didn't know I had in me. But yeah, just a lot of things going on. I've been away for the last 3 years in Los Angeles, and to be back in London, you know, especially like amongst like all the rugby and stuff is amazing. Like I'm loving being back.
Do they put her in like a curly wig? Like she looks like half the women on the walls, isn't it? It's to Norma Desmond, but
Jamie Lloyd, the director, he's kind of like reinvented it to a more sort of modernized,
God,
contemporary, yeah. And it's amazing. He's
5 months of shows.
5 months, yeah. She's already got like bruises like everywhere.
Max, quick one, random thing, but what's it like at Bristol, having signed the legend that is Virumi Vakatawa?
Mate, I had no idea. That was out of the blue. I didn't even hear of it.
Shock.
In the ether.
Shock.
Yes, obviously. Head in the sand. Classic. Mate, I had no idea. Neck minute. See him on Twitter and Instagram. I'm like, fair play, Uncle Pat, getting it done. Yeah.
You needed a replacement, no way. You had two of the brothers off.
Yeah,
you needed the brothers.
Serious brothers as well that were left.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, some of the finest. So yeah, unbelievable. Apparently it was like, so at bar bars, Pat was coaching bar bars. Virumi was like, I still want to play bass, and he's like desperate for it.
I thought we'd start a little bit with Scotland, with Paul B. Which, bearing in mind, let's start with our messiah that we love. Rassie Erasmus came out today. I don't know if you saw it. He said, with full humility, I'd rather sit here than be Ireland, knowing that we've been number one in the world all the time, and Scotland just have to beat them by 8 points and they're out of the tournament. Pressure on. First things first, any confidence streaming through three very patriotic Scotsmen?
It's tough, isn't it? First of all, yeah, from the start, the pool of death. I sort of knew it was going to come down to bonus points. Like when we didn't get that bonus point against South Africa, I knew that it was going to be tough. But to beat Ireland, to beat Ireland without them getting a bonus point. Fuck.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it?
Difficult.
It makes it a lot harder because like we could go out and just throw the ball about.
Yeah.
You score, we score. Like
which we can.
The Harlequins way is what we like to call it on here, because that's what they do. They just let people score, but they just know we could score more.
I thought South Africa would beat Ireland up more than they did, and unfortunately Ireland come away from that game relatively unscathed. So that's always like a bit of a worry. But I think Scotland, especially after their last performance, There's some young guns who got a run out, and they looked like, they're full of confidence. What is it? They scored over 80 points. And,
84-0, is it?
84-0. That's like...
Yeah, I know, but the Romanian workers,
I'm trying to hype it up.
As you said, I think we've got momentum, bro. We've got momentum going into this last game. But the thing, Ireland, they've just had that 2-week break at the right time, having that tough test match against the Box. And they've got 10 days, or how long? 2 weeks, is it? 2 weeks to come up with a game plan. So, yeah, look, we have to play the perfect game. I'm not worried about our backs. I think our backs can mix it with anyone in World Rugby.
easily.
As long as we get quick ball, we get quality ball. Obviously, the game against South Africa, our lineup was terrible. And the Irish will probably look at that. I don't know. They'll come up with some plan. Yeah, but I hope the boys can do it. It's going to be tough.
Where are you boys going to be watching it? Where are you watching it, Thom?
Just in a pub, like local.
Just in a local boozer, Thom Evans?
Yeah.
What if Scotland beat Ireland and they go through to the quarters? Then is it a different story? You going?
100%.
You're getting over there?
Yeah, 100%.
You're over there.
Yeah,
You're like Nicole.
Yeah. I'll make her sing Flower of Scotland.
Oh my God.
In like a tailored kilt.
Well, it's slightly... we had Jack Parrow last week tell us he was going to write our song for the podcast. We should maybe just tap into Nicole and see if she can write us a little melody for this.
How is your evening, dear? Okay, well, we're going to the rugby. You've got to sing Flower of Scotland in front of everyone. You're also bizarrely doing the Maul or Nothing jingle.
Talk to me about that game, though. Darcy Graham.
Amazing. What I love about Darcy Graham is he just reads the game so well. Like he's so strong, very fast, but he just has that ability like Chris Ashton used to do, like where he kind of lingers around every ruck or any breakdown and just instinctively knows where that offload is going to come. And I think that's quite a rare thing to have, especially being a winger. And he's just a classy player. And I think against Ireland, we're going to need him to be at the top of his game to have any chance of getting through.
He's tiny though, Skokes, eh?
Well, yeah.
Small little man.
It's going to be interesting if Gregor, who's he going to pick? Obviously, Dewey's he's a lock-in for the 11 jersey, and then they pick Staino for the Tonga game. Because Staino's solid. He's a solid rugby player, and obviously Darcy's world class. He's as you say, he's a smart winger. He's always batting above his height. He gets off his wing. He works bloody smart. Gets a lot of touches. Off fin, inside balls, and shoulder balls off 9.
213 metres made in that hammering of Romania. Obviously, 4 tries. He's just 3 scores away from taking Hoggy's Scottish try record.
I hope he does.
24 tries in just 38 caps as well. That's
Where's he from?
How it.
Oh,
You know it.
Hoik.
Hoik.
What are you saying, big man? That's Hoik.
Hoik, man.
That sounds way better.
What's the population of Hoik?
Like
By the way,
25, 30?
they're all raging.
And yet,
how
how is the fact that 3 of the top 4 try scorers in Scottish history all hail from Howick Hoik?
Well, he's definitely beating Hoggy's try record.
Who's the other bloke from Hoik?
Is it Tony Strange?
Chill!
Tony Stanger.
Scottish guy.
Yeah.
Good knowledge.
I was top 10. We used to score probably average 0.5 a try back when Scott Johnson was director of rugby. When we didn't know what we're doing.
He helped Australian rugby.
Yeah, remember Aussies? They're just loose, aren't they? How loose are Aussies, mate?
I heard some good stories about the bloke. Some boy. Yeah.
He gave me my first cap. So.
Yeah.
Let's get back to Darcy.
Darcy Graham.
Yep.
Stranger.
I think he'll
and
start.
Stuart Hogg. You think Darcy will start?
I think Darcy will
I've got a question for you, because I've got a better question for you. Are you picking Darcy or Doohan? If you had to pick one, you only had the choice of one, Darcy or Doohan, because Dewey's going pretty well as well, eh?
I'd pick Darcy Graham.
Darcy Graham.
Yeah. I think Sean's 100% right. Like Staino, who I've obviously seen in the Six Nations, is an awesome player, and I think it will be a tough choice because he you have him and Doohan on both wings. They're hard running wingers who are going to take a lot of stopping, but Darcy Graham just has that sort of like
in a phone box.
Yeah, and he just seems to have like a work rate as well. I don't know. I think Darcy Graham is the on fire sort of winger right now for Scotland.
And now my question to you, Sean. Yeah. Are you ready for this? Finn.
Yeah.
Or Farrell?
That's nice. That's good.
That's good.
Andy was at Saders as well, so maybe.
I'll just
DC.
say Dan Carter. Or I will say,
Just went
I'll
goat.
say Finn at 10, Fez at 12. I don't
England's
know.
combo. Who do you put? This I don't know why we're going
Yeah.
off at England. Who do you have at 10, 12
Fez at 10. You gotta play. You gotta play him 10
for England? I'm with you.
for England. Yeah, 100%. And then you either have Manu and Marchand.
Ollie Lawrence.
Your Manu Marchand.
Yeah,
George Ford's relegated to the bench.
yeah. I think you put
running
40.
fine.
Yeah, I think you put 40 on the bench. But mate, people that don't see Fez on the training pitch, what he does, he's mental. He's such a competitor. He's a born winner.
Yeah, bro.
He
intense.
like, and
Doesn't
I take it for granted because I am literally I'm on an armchair every meeting. Mate,
Armchair. I can imagine he's horizontal. This
no,
bloke, like-
yeah, I'm chilled as fuck. I'm so chilled, like, you know, and like every time he speaks, he does like his captain's talk, and I'm just like, fucking hell, I'm gonna run through a brick wall for this far.
A quick word on South Africa versus Tonga.
To our South African fans, well done. You beat Tonga. Tonga finally turned up a little bit, though, thank God. I was happy to see them finally play a little bit of rugby. And they played all right, to be fair, but too little too late for the big boys in red.
The Tongans, like, their team on paper, though, how good? But as we all know, they just blow out, don't they?
Yeah, and it's the same with Samara. We were talking about Samara as well. All those boys dropping down from tier 1 into the tier 2 stuff with, like, especially Tonga and Samoa. It's so good for the game. Do you agree with that? Dropping down from the tier 1 to tier 2.
Yeah.
You expected a bit more from Samoa.
Well, yeah, especially
Like,
Well, mate,
you
you
look at like, their
Stevie
forwards,
Lewis,
yeah,
Chris Vui.
Theo McFarlane,
Yeah,
like
mate,
so many class
incredible
players.
depth at tight end, mate. Like
They just-
the whole packs.
Yeah, they just
loaded.
they were in a pool where they should have been looking for the quarterfinals. Did you watch that Argentina game? That was probably their biggest letdown. I know it was raining and the brothers, they don't really play well in the wet, but
You got a bit of Samoa, didn't you?
yeah, quarter. Yeah, my granddad was born in Samoa,
Yeah.
so actually it's coming up. How long do you when you don't play for a nation?
Oh, here it is.
Since I've been retired from Scotland, former Scotland player.
How long? When was the last time you played?
Well, 26 nations.
Hey, you're available. You're ready to go, Samara.
Could be available for Samoa, boys. How good?
Mate,
I'm a bit of a, you know me. I'm a bit.
I thought you'd know.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I do, but I'm not going to sing it. I'll probably muck the words up. But yeah, I'm a bit of a fruit salad. I'm half Scottish, quarter Māori, quarter Samoan. So yeah, bit of a fruit salad. Yeah.
Tom, could you have played for anyone else other than Scotland?
Zimbabwe was born there.
Oh, of course you were.
And Portugal. I had to think about coming out of retirement with Max. And I thought that would have been a great little story.
But you joke. I reckon. I mean, they've got a pretty good team.
They do
but
really good, yeah. Because
well,
Max was coaching out in Portugal for a while, and I just thought, yeah, you can dream big, but we've never been able to do it.
Do you not reckon? Do you reckon?
No.
I know we've been there. We'll get onto that in a bit.
Confidence, yeah, never. But yeah, the dream was definitely there, was alive.
Max could probably still. He's in some nick, eh?
Yeah, Max can just he can not train and still tear up.
What about you, mate? Can you play for any other team?
Nah, Scotland. That's it.
England? You
Nah,
could play for England. No?
Can't play for England.
But what are your thoughts on that, though?
Would I play for England?
No, like people
Definitely.
going from Scotland to England, or
Oh, I think it's a disgrace.
like, do you think it should be a tier 1?
I think
to
it
tier
should
2?
tier 1, tier 2 only.
Yeah.
I think when you
I
heard about
agree.
John Cooney maybe going from Ireland to Scotland, and you got people like Jamie Doby and some of the players in there, you're like, just doesn't fit for me. Tier 1 to tier 2 to make the tier 2 teams better. I completely agree. But the other way around, it doesn't fit. Jean Klein was he Ireland, went to South Africa. I never really got on with him. He plays for Munster. Tried to poke my eyes out once.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I talk you guys up for just 1 second? For the first time in a long time, you both last week mentioned that no one's talking about the Kiwis and that we should be very, very wary of New Zealand because of the fact no one's fucking talking about the Kiwis. And then they go and absolutely blast Italy in one of the most one-sided matches we've seen
My crystal
in a
ball
long
was good.
time.
My crystal ball was very good. Absolutely, it was weird. It got strange for a bit though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's not good.
They're a Six Nations team, though, bro. It shouldn't be happening.
That's the thing. Is
That shouldn't be happening.
it could have just been redemption for the APs. They just had a point to prove. No one was talking about
They're
them.
going under the radar, eh?
Yeah, they're going
Thom,
fully
can
under
they-
the radar.
Can the All Blacks win the World Cup?
100%. But I have to say, after that first game, I'd forgotten about them, which I never would have thought that I would have done. And it just reminded everyone, as you boys were saying, that they are a team that cannot be ruled out
Probably
in
the
any
best way to
aspect.
be, eh?
Yeah.
Slipping under the radar.
For them, like they've just gone under the radar, bro.
Through the back
Bro,
door.
how does Sam Kane get back in though after Shannon Frizzell? That he was unbelievable.
Oh, he's
Mate,
captain,
he's
isn't
crucial.
He has to
Yeah,
start.
no, but you need that. You need Frizzell there, bro. That go forward he gives as a ball carrier. I thought that's what they were sort of lacking against France. They didn't have much like impetus at the gain line. They didn't have any like edges or carriers up front.
Well, who got 8? So you got Ardy at 8. He's on
Ardy's
first
in.
name on the team sheet.
Ardy has to be in.
And then at 6 you got who you got at 6?
It's Dalton, isn't it?
Dalton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's been
Well,
he has
Papali'i.
been good. Yeah, Papali'i, yeah.
Yeah. Where's is that Samoan, by the way? He looks Samoan, eh?
I don't know, you're Samoan. Fucking ask me.
Yeah, and then Sam Kane. You have to start him. He's your captain, isn't he?
I know, but mate, Frizzell.
Because Frizzell, I think
Bro, he's
Frizzell signed
bumping
in Japan
everyone
as well. He signed in
he was
Japan after.
horrible.
So, but like, say obviously Scotland's pool. Who do you want? Who do you want? Do you want the French or do you want the All Blacks? Who do you pick?
Hey, you should run a podcast. That's a bloody good question.
Yeah, but like,
Who do we want?
who do you want?
You see Stephen Donald's thing about like there's a conspiracy afoot that Rassie was like, nah, throw the game against Ireland.
What? So then Ireland.
Oh, no, there was something between Scotland and Ireland.
No, he was like, throw the game so we don't have to.
He talks just shit there. doesn't he?
Beaver just like getting his conspiracy hat on. I was appreciating it though. I was like, yeah.
Tom, who do you rather, France or New Zealand?
To play
You
between France.
want to play one of them. You'd rather play France.
I'd
yeah.
rather play France. Like you just
Yeah.
hope. Did you just hope that French, mate? They're up. Obviously they've cut out the bad nights more.
Yeah,
But like still, the French are the French. The
I'm with
pressure
you.
playing at home.
go with the French. I'd play France.
And the All Blacks are the All Blacks.
It's just a shame that side of the draw is just mental.
Yeah.
Sean, what about the fact that
Scotland are in the mix.
we've got more jeopardy in the group stage than we've had for perhaps any World Cup?
So if Scotland beat Ireland by more than 8 points and they don't let Ireland get a bonus point, Scotland go through.
Yeah.
And Ireland go out. How
Yeah, I know,
crazy is that?
That's crazy. Big Faz though. Big Faz he's coming up with a fucking game plan. It's gonna be a tight game, bro.
They're
You know it.
Teflon Dons, man. They get
You going Ireland?
Oh,
You reckon
mate.
they're going to batter? He
That-
reckons Ireland are going to batter Scotland.
mate.
He
That
reckons it's gonna be
pack.
50-0.
No, but that Irish
Do
pack.
you think it's going to be 50 0? Is that what you just said?
I didn't say that, but that Irish pack is terrifying, mate. They are just so well drilled. They're horrible.
When we didn't get a losing bonus point against South Africa,
Yeah,
I
that's
just
crucial.
knew that was
Crucial.
crucial.
Will this be the unluckiest Scottish squad? Because could it be one of the strongest Scottish squads at any World Cup?
100%.
Do you know what? I reckon it's the best Scotland backline we've ever seen, bar Hoggy at 15. If Hoggy was at 15.
And I feel like just be polite when you're here. Like Sean's still playing.
No, but listen, we accept our
2019.
place. We accept our place. But you look at those wingers at the moment. Duran, Darcy,
The whole
Hoggy
9
at the
to
back.
15.
And I'm not putting anything against Blair King on. He's a fucking good player. Odd bloke.
No, Blair's good, bro.
Blair's class.
Blair's good, man. He
Bro,
stepped
he's
in those
been-
shoes.
yeah,
I know
he's
he
been
had a
unreal.
bit of a tough sort of first half against South Africa. The high ball and all that. But bro, he's been chomping at the heels of Hoggy for the last sort of 2 years. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he has. But I'd still have Hoggy over Blair.
Would you?
Yeah, I
Not
think
now.
I would.
Not now. Not now.
I think I would.
I'd have
After
Blair.
like,
I'd have
the way-
Blair
I think
now.
I think you I think the experience counts for a lot. in
But you
World
look at
Cups.
those centres, Sione Tuipulotu,
Yeah,
Hugh Jones.
I'm happy for Jonesy because he's had a tough sort of World
Not
Cups.
upbringing.
Tough
No,
route
he's
to
had
where
a
he's
tough
got
sort
to.
of World Cup
Yeah,
cycle.
yeah.
Remember 2019 didn't make the squad, and then he was going to go sign in France, and then he signed at Quins was the best decision because they just love to
Don't
throw
defend.
the ball around.
Don't defend, just throw it around.
And now he's come back and he's obviously one of the form centres.
Yeah.
Jonesy.
Finn
And
Russell,
his
Ben White.
his combination with Sione Tuipulotu, they just they complement each other so well, don't they?
Have we managed to get back onto Scotland somehow, have we?
Yeah, let's move it on, right?
Go on, the Scots.
We are here in the Mandarin Oriental Hotel Knightsbridge, but just want to say a massive thank you again to our sponsor, Wolf Craig. They have brought out their 14-year-old triple sherry cask blend. Richard Patterson OBE, Ian McMillan. If you head over to the website
At wolfcraig.com.
you can grab yourself a bottle. And do you know what, boys? We're going to open this one up and we're going to try this. So this is their 14-year-old. So anyway, we're going to give you a little tipple now. If anyone says to you they don't like whiskey, well, they haven't found the whiskey for them yet. And this is a very easy drinker. Now, when you take this, I want you to take a little bit into your mouth, okay? And I want you to genuinely try and get it to the back, to the front, to the side, because think how many different ways you can taste in your mouth, okay? I want you to get it all through your mouth, and then once you swallow it, just hold it. Slanjava. Slange. Okay, so you're going to take a small sip. Max, give us your tasting notes.
Leather-bound books and rich mahogany. No, it's quite caramelly, actually.
Caramel, thank
Quite
you.
burnt sugar.
That's what I picked up on.
Yeah?
Smoky caramel.
Yeah, no, that's what you should get. Yeah, no, that's what you should get, like a
I've got
sugary.
burnt sugar, yeah. That's what I got.
Like that'll be the muscadet, the sherry.
It's spicy, bro. Yes. Is anyone else getting spice?
Yeah. Fiery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of spice in there. You
Tabasco
taste
in there.
what you taste. No, I don't know about Tabasco, but one more shout out to the legends at Wolf Craig. Thank you very much again for sponsoring this podcast. And if you want your bottle of 14-year-old, they've also got the 30-year-old just up behind you, boys, and they do a gin for Mark. Mark likes gin. They don't do Malibu gin. Mark, sorry, too much. They don't do Malibu, but they do gin. And head over to the website, which is
wolfcraig.com.
Okay, let's just quickly do a quick Paul C. And actually want to hear from Sean. Yep. We had Matt Gitter on last week saying you had to have the likes of Foley, Hooper, and of course your cousin Quaid.
Yep.
What's been the chat? How has he seen this kind of car crash tournament for the Aussies?
Yeah, I haven't actually talked to Quady about obviously the whole missing out on the whole Wallaby squad, but look, if I was him, I wouldn't be happy. He should have been in the squad, and obviously what Gitz was saying, he's obviously hit the nail on the head. Yeah, World Cups, they're not development tours. They're not obviously, get the young boys in, get them,
they're not the summer tours.
Yeah, exactly.
They were
They're not
playing
the
up.
summer tours, exactly. And you need guys like Quady, you need guys like Hooper, and so I'm not sure what Eddie was thinking there. But look, he's all good. He's in LA, I think, at the moment. He's got his own clothing label. He's in Japan, so he's loving life. But yeah, he should have been on that plane for sure. Yeah.
Were you not tempted to go out to Japan? Right, I know you've signed for the season at Saracens.
Oh, I tried to. Who's going to take a 35-year-old winger in Japan? Look, yeah, I would have loved to obviously played out there. Obviously been out there in the World Cup with Wilson 2019, and we had a good time there. Obviously, getting knocked out and all that, but we should have beat Japan, though.
100% we should have beat Japan.
But they
They were on
were
fire.
fiery.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what annoyed me so much about this World Cup. Where have they gone? Where have the Japanese team gone that were so
We're going
barred
off
up?
topic again. Quady, he should have been in there.
Quaid should have been in there.
Yeah, like obviously I don't see what Eddie's thinking. Like he's got this young lad. Is it Carter Gordon?
Yeah.
He's the only specialist 10. He's 21 years old. He's had how many caps?
I don't know.
7 caps. Like you got to have an old head in it. Like even if it wasn't Quaid, like
Yeah,
Bernard
100%.
Foley, just someone who's gonna come in and change the game more. Because I don't understand. You have one specialist 10, and then he starts against Fiji, and then you hook him off at 50 minutes, and then you bring that other lad who's got the mohawk mullet, he couldn't get a game for Waratahs, I heard. Yeah, that's what that's
no,
what.
I know. Yeah.
He signed at Melbourne, isn't he? And he's starting 10 the next week after. So, and look, obviously, Scouts. He's my boy.
Big Willie.
Big Will. I love him. Look, he's been made captain.
Could you see him as captain?
I haven't got much out of him. Like I've tried to I'm getting blue ticks, no ticks. That's all it is. You know when you get the blue tick, no ticks? Seen, last online. I'm just like, bro, come on, give me something, bro.
Oh, really? Nothing.
Who would have thought Scout's being captain of this World Cup? But from what I'm hearing, he's loving it. He's obviously a leader at La Rochelle, and look, La Rochelle are a class team.
But there's a few savages lurking around the world who are Australian.
Yeah.
Like Kane Douglas, Sean McMahon.
Yeah.
Like there's a few killers. Like Hoops.
Like Hooper, man.
Like
I
if
don't
you just
understand
select
that.
from the creme de la creme of Australian rugby, you're still taking heads.
Like even go back to Quaid, like he did his Achilles. He's 35 years old. He did his Achilles. He played one game in Japan, like at the end of the season, and then he's like thrown into a test match. I think against whoever they played first, against the Springboks away. They got pumped. Like, bro, like it's gonna take him. It's gonna take him a few games, and I understand probably why Eddie's. They made the decision, like, you know, it's going to take a while to
Did you know he was his cousin?
I had no idea. I was just about to say.
Yeah. No, so yeah, we grew up together in a little town called Tukuro,
Wow.
South Waikato, yeah. Small
Remember
town.
Tatsy every morning, our defence coach. At
Oh,
Scotland,
Tatsy, yeah.
Man, how's Quaid? How's Quaid?
He was the defence coach of the
Oh, I
Reds,
love
and
Tatsy.
it was the, you know, when they won 2011, we're literally
right.
everything Guinea and Quady.
Yeah,
They beat us in the final 2011 Suncorp Stadium,
It's a
when
wild
Super Rugby
game.
was fucking sick.
The peak, yeah.
Like, you know, Australia was hissing, like, sold out Suncorp.
I've watched that game.
The highlights of that Reds team 2011, everything they touched turned to gold.
Scotty.
It was just good for the game, but our defence coach for Scotland, he was the defence coach for the Reds that year, and fuck, he never let me forget about it. Mate, what about Fortress Suncorp, mate? How good? I was like, Tatsy, mate, we fucking lost, bro. Let it go, mate.
Do you remember that year that was like the year of celebrations?
Yeah.
It was so Super Rugby at its absolute peak.
I'm grateful because my first year was 2008. And obviously, as I mentioned, like playing with some of the fucking goats of the game, but you know, going to South Africa, like sellouts, like literally, we talk about tailgating in America. It was literally like tailgating in South Africa. Like everyone's like, you're on the bus, and he was like fucking pulling the fingers to you, like sold out stadiums in South Africa. Like obviously highlights.
How good?
Yeah,
So good.
Just quickly though, Sean, you being far too kind to Australia over the last little bit, talking about their teams and everything, but you were there. I know Ryan was in the squad, but you were actually on the pitch.
You're talking about 2015, aren't you? You
2015.
fucker. I knew this was coming.
Take us through your memories of that day.
Oh,
Sean.
what a nightmare! What a nightmare that was. Do you remember when Princess Anne and her husband came in the change room after the game, and you could just like hear a penny drop? Do you remember?
I was.
Were you involved
I
in the 23?
I got dropped
Okay.
after stamping on one of the Samoans' chests the week before.
Oh yeah, that's
Remember
right.
Big Vern. Remember how angry Vern was after the World Cup with me? You didn't fucking do this and you didn't do that. They brought Blair Cowan in. And
But that was just one of the what ifs, wasn't it? Like we won that game. We played the Argies in the semi.
mate, we would have won the World Cup.
And we I would have backed us against the Argies, and then
Yeah.
you play the All Blacks in the final. Obviously, the what if
Scotland
story.
versus All Blacks
Yeah,
in the
I
final.
know,
Imagine
like-
that in England.
Were you at the game?
Oh no, I was watching and I was
Yeah.
just like, I couldn't believe.
John Welsh.
No, it's raining.
Set the scene.
It's raining, and you throw to the back of the line. What was he doing?
These are the sort of chats that go in the change room. Oh, you've just lost a quarter final. You imagine the backs hissing the other side of the change room like, fucking why did you boys go to the towel?
Yeah, but
I was in the stands, so don't blame me, but
It's not a pin though today, isn't it?
yeah.
Oh, it was offside, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
he thought it was an accidental offside, but it had clearly touched a Wallaby hand. So Joubert assumed that it had gone, forward onto a Scottish hand to give it a penalty for accidental offside, but it had touched a Wallaby, so it was not.
I just remember like him running off. I remember the look on Greg's face.
Yeah.
Like, how vivid is that? Like, he's just like this. He's like got his hands up in the air, and he's like watching Joubert run straight off the pitch, getting bottled. But that's probably one of the darkest ever moments of my career, to be honest.
Your thoughts at the moment that Bennett goes through with just a few minutes left, and suddenly semi-finals are just there.
Well, when Mark scored, I just thought we'd won the game, and you could sort of see when it's raining, they tried to throw it wide, these long passes in there. Bennett just sort of rushes up. I'm with him on the outside, and he gets the intercept, and I'm sort of behind him, like so gassed. Like we're in a semi-final of the World Cup, thinking I don't know how long. No.
Oh, you thought we were going?
Yeah. I thought we're in a semi-final of the World Cup, and like what a sort of shot that was. I don't know if you've seen the video, but it's like it's pretty cool. It's like it's raining, and I'm like giving it the big ones behind him, and sort of give him a hug, and then the rest is just a bit of a blur, isn't it? That last sort of 2 minutes where.
Whose hands did it slip through on the liner?
Dents. Yeah.
After a game in Rome,
He's one of my favourites.
we got left with a bill, right? A long story, but basically we got left with a bill. It was like $4,500, and we were like, and it was only us left in the art cafe in Rome, and we were like, shit, what are we going to do? And me and Dents went into the. We were looking. We went back to the hotel after paying this fortune bill, which we tried to get back off the boys. And we were eating chicken goujons, but someone took a wedge out of a cake, and in the morning the manager was like, "Boys, someone's wrecked the wedding cake for today." And we were like, I was like, Dents, you guys just lock this down.
Did you take it?
No, someone had taken a lump out of the wedding.
It was you, wasn't it? It was definitely you.
Mate, how bad is that? And we were like, oh my God, that's so bad. But yeah, Dildo Dave. I know why he was called Dildo Dave, because he caught the ball like he had two dildos strapped to his hands.
Yeah, he did have.
But when he caught it though, meters off the contact.
What's they got between those two?
Wowee.
Some of the biggest calves in
Like,
rugby at the time.
Yeah.
The leg drive,
Incredible.
the ease.
Yeah, yeah.
He was a freak.
You wouldn't have been in Glasgow. He just came. He was in the academy, wasn't he?
I still remember him being like
A mutant. He was from Zimbabwe, wasn't he?
yeah.
Zimbabwe.
Just remember him being this like young guy with his like Samson hair, just massive shoulders.
And do you know the best thing that ever happened in my career?
What's that?
Edinburgh took Dave. I was meant to go to Edinburgh. They took Dave Denton, and Sean and we went, "Oh fuck, we'll have that bloke then." Jesus. And I went to Glasgow. How things could have been different. I could have been an Edinburgh wank, but I'm not. I'm a fucking Glasgow legend. Edinburgh would have
How many
ruined
caps
me.
for Glasgow?
222,
Top 5, top 3.
top 2.
You and Rob.
Not one.
Same player,
Me and Bubby Salad.
Same.
Bubby Salad, because it's salad downstairs. A salad bowl. Big bush. Big bush.
Let's talk about England Fiji though. What a game that's gonna be. Yeah. The Bruss has got the dubs in Twickenham,
Davingles.
Yeah.
but I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a good game.
Fiji, I genuinely think can beat England in the quarters.
I think it's gonna.
That's how it's going to end up, isn't it? Right?
Yeah,
we're not.
it
We're
will
not
be that. It will be
that.
that.
I think
Only
England
points
will win.
against Portugal. But
I think
You think England will win?
Yeah, I think England will beat Fiji.
yeah.
I think England will win.
Okay.
But-
Tosoviti.
I'm happy that Fiji have qualified. That's just so good for rugby. The game, the way they've played.
Why
every
do you
game.
think England will win? Because of the way they played. They didn't play very well
I
against
just think
Georgia
that-
for the first.
I just think England
50.
are just trending in the right direction, bro. And I think
they're
the
really
more,
hard to beat
yeah.
now.
Yeah, no,
I think with Big Faz coming back too.
Okay.
Skips.
Well, myself and my Fijian
I hope it's
brothers-
a good game for the neutral.
Well, let's dig in. We've got two wonderful guests. Tom, take us back to that fateful day. Sadly, in 2010, Six Nations match with Wales in Cardiff, when your career as a professional rugby player came to an end.
Yeah, 2010 played Wales in the Six Nations, and it was honestly, I'd never been as excited to play a Test match in my life. The reason why is because, you know, Scotland, compared to the other home nations, smaller pool of players to pick from. And, you know, when you get a couple of injuries, it really has a significant factor on the rest of the squad. And that day, I felt we had our best Scottish 22 that I'd been involved in. And I really thought that day, no matter what the outcome of the game, this is our best team. And if we lose, then in my mind, you know, we couldn't have done any more. And we literally came out the blocks firing, super excited to get the game started, and we were all over them. They had no sort of answer to the style of rugby that we were playing. Dan Parks was on fire, he wasn't really known as like a running fly half, but one of the best kickers of the ball that I've ever seen.
Good drinker as well.
Great drinker, great banter, and great at quick mathematics as well. One not many people know of. Like honestly, fast like 112 times 73, like Rain Man. I'm not joking. And I remember just thinking like Wales have nothing. Like as in. Obviously they're the likes of Shane Williams, but we were just in full control of the game. And then Mossy got a horrendous injury. He like burst his kidney. It was like just horrific. I've never even known anyone to burst a kidney in a rugby game personally. And so he went off. And then obviously I had my injury. Actually, I had my first injury was I had like 14 stitches in my lip, accidental elbow from Graham Morrison, went off. And I remember it was Valentine's Day the next day. I wouldn't say I was that vain, but like I remember being like, mate, can you do like a better job than you're doing? This guy, because Annie Robinson was like, we need him back on. And the doctor, bless him, was doing like not James Robson, this other guy who was stitching my lip, was doing such a bad job. And I was like, mate, I look like Predator, you know, the final scene where he flicks open. And I was like, mate, I remember saying like, can you please do a better job? Anyway, terrible job. I come onto the field knowing that the guy's done a terrible job. And I'm like, as soon as I just get like touched, on that side of my face, it's just going to open up. And so I get the ball, I remember it, like inside ball from Dan Parks. Al Kellock's in the way, big lad. I'm just like, Al, get out the way. Stop running lines that you're not even going to get the ball. Standard. Anyway, it's in my way. And I kind of like hit this contact, go down, and they release me. I release the ball. I get back up, and then I see like no one in front of me. So I kind of accelerate through, and I think, right, yeah, this is great. Like, making good yards here. And then I just remember like seeing Shane Williams on like right behind me, the right side of my shoulder, kind of coming across to tackle me, and then I saw Lee Byrne coming straight towards me, and I thought, right, okay, I'm gonna like brace this tackle. But as I went to sort of like fend off Lee Byrne in front of me, Shane Williams kind of like jumped on my back and sort of pinned my arms, and so as a means of like I guess protecting my lip, which again psychologically was there. I kind of like, I just ducked my head, which was into no, but that was the thing, like into sort of Lee Byrne's hip, because it was like a last minute resort, and that was it. I just remember being like, I lost the ball, and any rugby player's mind is like, the first thought is regather the ball, and I just couldn't feel a thing, and that's when I just was like, fucking hell, this is, and I just remember like. Line there, it's quite like deafening, especially anyone like we all hear test match rugby, and I just remember being like in the stadium, and however many people, 80,000 people, and it just being like this harrowing like sensation where I just felt like completely like not in control of my body. And if it wasn't for James Robson, who was there, he almost preempted it. And I tell everyone this, James Robson, best doctor in world rugby, in my opinion, not because of his, qualifications, but he puts the players' welfare just like above anything else. And I just remember his voice in my ear just being like, look, just like, don't move, just stay still. And had he not done that, and someone had tried to move me, then 100% would have been paralysed in the days that followed.
If it was like a millimetre out, you would have been paralysed.
Yeah, like it was like millimetres from the spinal cord being severed. And anyway, it was 3 hours after I had the injury to being operated on, which is no time at all, and I'm incredibly grateful to this day for that. But what really saved me was just James Robson, the way he kind of, was there and took care of me, because it was almost like someone was standing behind me and like squeezing me. When someone gets you in a bear hug, I couldn't breathe, and they tried to put the oxygen mask on me, and it was horrible. Like I just couldn't, I was breathing, at the speed of light, and he was just that calming influence in my ear right up until I basically got operated on. So James
That's
Robson.
what he's like though, James.
Yeah.
Like, testament to the man, James Robson, best doctor
But what
ever had.
and I couldn't agree more with that. But what really kind of terrified me was when we got to the operating theatre and I saw him just like bawling his eyes out. I'd never seen that. Yeah, he was like bawling his eyes out, and I was like, I started bawling my eyes out, and I was like, wow, this is something serious, yeah. And I had a great surgeon and one of the best spinal surgeons who happened to be in Cardiff that day, and that was it.
Was Max playing?
Max was playing. He was on the bench that day.
He come on for you.
He actually came on for me when I first went off with my Predator lips. Scored a try. Yeah. Yeah,
it's one thing Nicole actually mentions about you.
Yeah.
One of your flaws, yeah.
But it was just obviously a hugely significant day. A couple of days later, I had the second operation, and that was the one to stabilize everything. Because he was like, look, I know you want to be an active guy, so I'm going to put a lot of metal in. So I've got this two-level cage, and then these 6 rods that are there for life. And he was like, just to warn you though, like it's a must-have operation, but the recovery is going to be pretty painful because the body adjusting to the rods and metal.
Isn't it? When they're fusions?
Yeah. And so when I came to after that, it was, I can't even describe. Even with all the morphine, it was
agony.
But then again, I had the knowledge that I knew I was going to be okay,
so you had
even after
optimism.
the first operation.
Yeah.
And I never forget being in the trauma ward. Sorry to get really morbid. This has been
No, mate. This is interesting.
But I never forget being in the trauma ward that I was in, and you don't even want to like think of the injuries and people coming in that I saw. But there was an 18-year-old girl next to me in the ward, stunning, like, and she'd literally been riding a bike just like any other day, and a hit and run had knocked her off her bike, and she was paralyzed like from the waist down. And honestly, having to wake up next to her every day, knowing that I was going to be okay, and she was coming to terms with the fact that she was never going to walk again. I tell you, like,
geez,
that was that made me like not feel sorry for myself in the slightest. It was
Incredibly
it was a
grateful.
real awakening to be like, wow, I have been like incredibly lucky, and that's why I love the rugby world and the rugby environment, is that I had letters coming in from all different sort of supporters of home nations, wishing me the best, and that's when the rugby world and the people and the community is a pretty special thing, because yes, everyone wants their team to win, but they love rugby, and they love they hate when someone isn't doing well. They all kind of like rally together. And then the best thing, to end on the positive note, is when Sean Connery called me in my hospital bed, and I tell this. I've had the good fortune of meeting a lot of famous people through my missus, but when Sean Connery called me, and I've got a mate who basically does a better Sean Connery impression than the man himself. He's Irish, but just does the best Sean Connery.
So Tom, are you well, Tom? You're fantastic.
So I had a pretty rough day because, I basically had to I couldn't go to I couldn't go to the toilet by myself. I just had to be rolled over, and it was kind of one of those things where we had a couple of guys in the ward, and it was like one flew over the cuckoo's nest. One guy was like, "Fucking shit away, Tom. Just fucking shit away. Just I want to hear it," because I was so timid and I was there. And, the nurses just roll you over and they put a bowl there, and you just have to shit because you can't do anything. And the guy was shit away, just do it, shit. It's like shit, and they were all screaming. They were like clapping their pants,
Oh my days.
And I was like, I'm doing it. And then, but you had to because you had to get through that emotional distraught. Yeah.
Desensitize yourself.
Yeah, desensitize yourself.
The anxiety.
So it had been a bad day. I couldn't go. I was clogged up, and my mum was like, "I got a phone call for you," and I was like, "Mum," quite snappy. I was like, "I don't want to speak to anyone," and she was like, "No, it's Sean Connery," and I was like, I know it's Niall, so give me the phone. Anyway, the phone got passed to me, and I remember I was just like, Niall, now's not the fucking time, mate. Seriously, I've had a bad day. And I'll never forget, it was like a moment of silence. It was like, and suddenly this voice was like, Niall? Who's Niall? And I was like, in the most iconic thing, and I was like, fucking hell, it's him, it's the man. And I was like, Sean, sorry, it's been a long day. And he was like, and I never forget, he was just like, he didn't say much, but he was just like, look, I saw the game, and I want to invite you to this fashion show in New York. It's in like 2 months' time. Do you think you can make it? And I was like, in my mind, I was like, I'm getting on that plane no matter what. And I did. And I ended up going there, and I got to meet him just one-on-one in a room for like 5 minutes. But it was one of the most unbelievable, probably the most sort of surreal, unbelievable moment of my life, if I'm totally honest, because I walked in, and there was the iconic, the James Bond in my eyes. And he just, like, even at his age at the time, was just like stood there, like, 6'3" of a man, just with his like whiskey in his hand, and we just had a 5-minute conversation, and it was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome. And he was like, just thanks for being here. He was like, let's just have a good weekend.
While we're with very famous people, have you had any other moments that didn't need you to become almost paralysed to happen?
I met John Travolta quite recently. He was, as you'd expect, just a legend. And Jean-Claude Van Damme, who was a hero of mine, met him, and he was just awesome. I think I got quite drunk by the end of the meal, because it was an event Nicole was performing at. And I started stupidly doing that dance he does in that film. With the beat. And I was just, immortality.
That's Max's dance.
It doesn't get the Max. It does not get the credit that it deserves. Like, only for the people who know. But he loved it. I kind of thought to myself, what are you doing? You're doing the dance in front of the legend himself. And he kind of was like, he kind of gave me a bit back. And then I kind of rolled my sleeves up a bit, and I was giving him like, and he started doing it too, and I was like, and he's still quite like shredded, yeah. And I was like, this is not happening. But Jean-Claude Van Damme, I managed to like speak to him for like a good like 10 minutes, I'd say, and he was just like the coolest dude. Dude. Yeah, he really was.
Awesome. Sean, if you had to have a phone call from one human being, Tommy's given us Sean Connery. If you had to have just one phone call from anybody, dead or alive, who would it be?
Dead or alive?
That's a great question.
Wow.
I feel like I want Jack Nicholson. Don't know why. I think Jack Nicholson just
be like, is that you?
First syllable.
I would think fucking like some gladiator from the.
Oh, you want to go that far back?
Yeah. Go like what? Go way back.
Tom's is William Wallace.
Okay, so we're gonna assume Homer, like the Iliad is real. Then I want Achilles to pick up the phone and hit me up. Hector.
I know who I'd have. I'd have my great granddad George Wilson.
A real person.
Yeah, my great granddad George Wilson threw a bomb off a ship, and he got the George Cross, but he was drunk at the time. I'd love to speak to him.
Wow, that's a great one. That's a great one.
Yeah. Where were you last night?
Where was I last night? At the NFL.
He was at the NFL last night.
Yeah, what a waste of time that was.
Really?
It was just like, man, they're standing on the field, and there's a commercial like going on the big screen, like for 30 seconds, and they're just standing around waiting for this commercial to finish. I'm like, man, how stop-start is this?
Is that what they are?
Yeah, it's proper.
Bro.
The college games are the best.
Yeah.
From being in America.
I've been watching it. Swamp Kings.
Yeah, that's good.
It's electric. And
Gators.
They play like you did in college. Like they actually play to just like, for entertainment. It's not like, the NFL. I'm not knocking the NFL, but I agree with Sean. Like, I've tried to get into it 3 years of living in the States, and it's just so stop. But the college football, my God.
MLR, you obviously went over to LA Cities, no longer.
Yeah. They had a really good thing going. They had the most incredible stadium. but it was definitely getting traction, 100%. And I went to a couple of games, and it was buzzy, and they were getting people down, like, you know, doing like the halftime entertainment, and I don't know, I just liked the vibe. I liked all the guys, like you know, like they had this sort of like fashion sense. It was different to any, like, you know, like proper like guys rolling in the old, like, in the old like 80s, like kind of cut off.
Yeah, the Ghetto. They were trying to. They were DTH. Langy,
DTH. Was on fire.
They were the
650.
rock stars.
Oh yeah.
They were the rock
Remember
stars,
him?
Yeah.
Did you see him?
Yeah.
He's a good man.
Would they play as well?
they-
They played at some
I
sick
love
stadium
Langy
as well.
Langy.
Yeah, an amazing
Coliseum.
Yeah, it was like amazing stadium. You know, I think being out in LA as well just adds that. You know, that's, you know, something different. You know, you're kind of like walking around the streets of like Manhattan Beach where they were, and it's like a vibe, man.
Tom, talk us through, since your rugby career ended, some of the amazing things that have come your way.
Been very fortunate since my rugby career ended to have done Strictly Come Dancing, an amazing show that I would wish upon anyone, especially my fellow rugby players here.
If you could rate any of us, who would be the worst? Who would be the best? From knowing the positions.
The tentative lick of lip and looking around.
Can I be honest, Ryan?
I'm going to be the worst, aren't I?
Sean, I'd rate the highest.
Because he's best looking.
Because he's seen a bit of musical.
And I know he would have rhythm, and I know he would just. I know he'd be a fan favorite, and especially like a kind of housewife favorite.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna go Max.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why, because he would be
Tops off.
He would be the fan number one, tops off, rigor mortis. But he would like drop his voice in like in all the interviews, and he would get like a following, like a cult following behind him.
And then what about me?
And then you would be like you would be great because you're man of the people. You know, you've captained not only, you know, club and country, but I'm putting you against two other like heavyweights here, and like I'm just saying, like you still get on the podium.
I've not got
Bronze
the body,
medal.
I've not got the wits, but I've got the charm.
No, but I'm just saying you're against two Trojans.
Anti-charm.
That's
What? And you're saying out of all of us, so 1, 2, 3, and then fourth would be Mark.
I'm getting down.
No, you're in here.
The judges.
7. That's
Okay, yeah, I get it.
But honestly, the greatest experience one could ever have, like going out there, the live shows. I can feel the nerves now, just seeing the judges, and then just like kind of scowling at you, wishing you to do like to put a step out of a sink, and you go out there and you got the live band, the big live band behind you, and it goes deathly silence, and you just look around, and like all the times I was like, what are the steps? I've forgotten everything, but you don't. The music kicks in, and it just comes alive. And I'll never forget Craig Revel Horwood. The first week I was doing the cha-cha-cha, and he was like, Tom, he was like, what's the dance this week? And I was like, Craig, I'm doing the cha-cha-cha. And he was like, no, darling. And he did a turn, and he turned around, and he was like, it's not the cha-cha-cha, it's the cha-cha-cha, darling. That was it. It was the greatest thing ever. And then Celebrity X Factor was a unique experience because I love to sing in the shower, and to get to do that on a live stage in front of the nation was pretty surreal. I'm not going to lie, I had to drink fairly heavily every time I got out there because the nerves were just too extreme. Yeah, it was just incredible, and I got to meet, the love of
You
my
got to
life.
meet your love.
You love singing.
I love singing. I think it's a big culture.
I love
in
singing.
rugby.
I love singing. Yeah,
That's one of the things I love most about
Play
rugby.
guitar
Yeah, you guys
for
had a band.
After the test.
Hey, this guy can play the guitar.
Some of my
chords.
fondest memories have been at the back of a coach
Yeah.
after
The guitar.
winning, and like driving along, and just someone with a guitar strumming along, all the boys singing. It's so embedded in the rugby culture, and
Still going
yeah,
strong,
I
bro.
love it. I love it. I'm not like
Prim's
not
good
like-
bus rides.
exactly.
Yeah, good bus rides are lovely.
Example pets.
Nah, I don't
Banging
think
the guitars.
No, he
Easy
burns
ones to
them,
play,
just
the
crushes them.
big
Yeah.
is that exactly what you miss most from rugby, like the
Yeah,
obviously the camaraderie,
yeah.
the teammates, like fucking
Yeah,
going
just
and
being
having
in
a
the
beer with
changing
boys.
room. I said like, weird thing is like this. I like the smell of like being in there and like the deep heat. Like you miss that. You miss that. You do. You take it for granted
I
when
even
you're.
get it at the moment. I coach like a
Oh man,
God,
so much.
like
in
Div 3 team in Scotland. I actually love going in and smelling the deep heat. I'm like,
Yeah,
you don't smell that anymore at professional level because no one really puts deep heat on anymore. That's like a
No, yeah, John O'Foa used to have paste it on. Nathan Hughes pasted it on.
You can't explain to people who've never been in that environment how special it is. You can't replicate it.
now.
You can't in like any facet of life, in my opinion, and like to truly have experienced that. And that's why I said to you, like, or people who are, you know, thinking of like retiring. I'm like, look, if your body's telling you that, that's fine, but you don't realize how special, like, the thing is that you have right now.
I love changing rooms, man. They're just like these huge vessels of emotion. It doesn't matter where, like, I know win, lose or draw, but every time it's this pure thing. It's like the atmosphere in there is so thick you can almost touch it. There's like a texture to it. There's a smell. You look around. There's people you're used to seeing how
there's
they
people
react.
on different levels.
All different
Just got
levels.
his first cap. That's like,
Yeah.
give a fuck about the result.
Exactly.
Like, this is the biggest thing in my life I've ever done. And my mum and dad are outside, and I'm about to go out and say I played for this club for the first time.
It's very
so
special.
they're there. They're like on another level, and then you've got a bloke that's been there forever. That's like, we've just lost against the shittest team in the league.
And he's losing his shit.
But the young guy is going, I've just played for this club. So you've got like people on every level.
It's that feeling though, eh? You're searching for it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
like you're on such a massive high on that Saturday, or whenever you played at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then the next day you're just like, you're so
You've
fucked.
been so like
You're
up
on a
there,
low. You're
on a
taking it out on the
sensory
missus. You're taking it out on the kids. Like, you're just like you're just searching for that feeling, and like there's a come down, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like it's
it's edification.
like, I hate playing rugby.
You hate it, but you
I hate it, but you love it.
more when
Yeah.
you're done.
Oh, I love
But when you're like,
Scuds.
you've earned the
Come
respect.
to my
and,
side, you'll love it.
yeah, I know. You're just in the change room, as
but
Tommy
I
was
do-
saying, that feeling of you've just put everything out for 80 minutes. You're in the change room. The tunes are pumping. Everyone's on a good buzz, and you're just on such a big high.
I think
That's the thing I'm gonna miss.
I think the resistance though of playing is important though. Do you know what I mean? That's how you know it still matters. I think resistance is the divinity of meaning. It's like that. It's like the currency of when you're doing something that edifies you truly, because it makes you nervous. So therefore, there's something like there's like a resistance to it. You know, there's like a turmoil about doing it, going out there. You're like, oh God, here we go again. I'm 33 now. I'm still doing it.
Tom, I saw you earlier. Like as soon as the mics came out, I saw you giving it. What's your song like? After the game,
so
like
tough. It's a
after the
go-to.
game, it might have changed now because you've obviously had a bit of training. I know it's like me and Max have a bit of training now.
What's your go-to?
Redemption song?
It's a tough one because it's got to be a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, well,
It's got to be something you can do justice.
But for the boys is important, right? For
Yeah.
more importantly, for the boys.
yeah, to get
What is
that.
it?
Well, my bus song, first cap for Scotland, was "Flying Without Wings," Westlife, which is a great number.
Go on then. So what do you need to?
But-
What do you need
but-
to
but-
just drop it in there now?
But I would say like my go-to karaoke song has got to be "When You Say Nothing at All" by Ronan Keating.
He's out of control.
You can't beat like a bit of Ronan Keating, you know, just slow.
Can we give you a
Calm.
beat? What's the beat? What, give
Kelly
us the
Brown,
beat?
bruv.
Yeah,
Come
but
on.
he loves.
I'm not Kelly Brown.
Yeah, but what's the beat?
Wait, is Kelly Brown Sir John Gangster?
That's all he
Has
does.
Kelly
Kelly
Brown-
Kelly can't really.
Kelly Brown
obviously, he's
has
got a
got-
stammer, but when he sings, he's like
Incredible
who's the
vocal
bloke?
cords.
Gareth Gates. Gareth Gates.
No,
What? Because he's got a stutter?
Gareth Gates.
no, but Kelly
seriously.
Kelly Brown can sing. Kelly Brown
Yeah.
has got serious.
So can Gareth Gates.
Yeah, but Gareth Gates was like a bit like weak. Like Kelly can he's got like a
conviction.
he's got
He's
conviction.
got a diaphragm.
I know he can, but I know
Like a
you can
taut
sing
drum.
as well.
yeah. I mean, I like to
So
sing.
go on, then. Give us just a little bit of a. Without wings. Is that the song? I can't even remember how it starts. How does it start?
Everybody's looking for that something. One thing that makes it all complete. You find it in the strangest places. places you never knew it could be. Some find it in the face of their children. Some find it in their lovers' eyes. Who can deny the joy it brings when you found that special thing? You're flying without wings.
Well, on that beautiful note, that is sadly all the time we've got left for this week. A huge thank you to our wonderful, wonderful guests. To Thom Evans, to Sean Maitland, to our usual duo of fun that is Ryan and Max. And we will see you all next week. Don't forget to subscribe, hit us up on Instagram and on YouTube. We'll see you soon.
That was special.